And that's all due to Trump, I think, and the right's message of voter integrity post-2020, that they refuse to have anything bipartisan to do with election integrity. They have blinders on, and anything that is a voting bill is restrictive, and it's terrible, and it's anti-democracy.
Democrats last night in the Texas state legislature staged a walkout to delay a vote on a bill that they call voter suppression, because of course they do. What don't they call voter suppression? Although the Texas State Senate had approved the bill Saturday, the House was deliberating Sunday as the legislative clock ran down. The legislative session ended at midnight last night. State Representative Chris Turner, the House Democratic Caucus chairman, texted fellow Democrats at 10:35 p.m., telling them, quote, "Take your key and leave the chamber discreetly," the key being what they use to lock in the vote. "Do not go to the gallery, leave the building." So I'm not sure I know all of the implications of those instructions, but that sounds like sneaking out to me. That doesn't sound like, a dramatic walkout. That sounds more like sneakiness. Anyway, they walked out at 10:45. The House did not have the 100 members necessary for a quorum and therefore had to adjourn, and the session was over. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has called for the legislature to meet again, actually has called pretty stringently, threatening to cut off pay, in special session to consider this bill, which he considers an emergency measure. So it looks like the Democrats did little but waste everyone's time, garner a few headlines. So in other words, Monday. So what is this voter suppression the Democrats are so concerned about? Well, it's heinous. Let me just tell you, this bill does a few different things. It includes criminal penalties, for instance, for mailing a ballot to somebody who has not specifically requested one. Heaven forbid that we penalize the willy-nilly mailing of empty ballots. It also does away with 24-hour voting. So, for those Texans who like to vote at 3 a.m, they would be out of luck. I can just imagine the logistical nightmare of trying to run polling places 24 hours.
How do you staff that?
I don't know. I don't know. And it also eliminates curbside voting, which I understand there may be a few handicapped individuals or people with physical disabilities or injuries or whatnot for whom that might be something of a problem. But by law in Texas, all polling places have to be accessible to pretty much everybody. So that has already been made provision for. So that's what voter suppression looks like in Texas right now. There is no pleasing Democrats on this issue, obviously. Democrats are upset that in Texas you have to register to vote 30 days prior to Election Day. That's hugely problematic. They don't like voter ID, of course, in Texas, but there are 7 forms of ID in Texas that you can use to prove your identity, photo ID. And if you can't get one, there's another form you can fill out to show why you can't get one. And then you can use like a utility bill that has your name and address on it. You can actually get a voter registration card that says you don't have to show photo ID on it. Just by going through this process. Nobody is being denied the right to vote here. No one. But what do you think the Democrats are doing, Joey? Is this just theater?
Something that we talk a lot about around here is ideological possession, where Democrats have become so possessed in their ideology that they have blinders on like this. They have tunnel vision, and they can't look outside that tunnel. The right, and I think Trump plays a part in this. I'm not saying this is a negative thing, but Trump has pushed really hard for election integrity post-2020, and I'm not saying anything crazy happened in 2020. There are a lot of rule changes that were terrible in 2020, and that's what most of them
on the fly.
Yeah, on the fly, and that's what a lot of these states are trying to reverse now and prevent from happening again. Is these COVID rule changes that happen just out of the blue and quickly without any sort of oversight. They're trying to make sure that doesn't
to do it.
Right. They're trying to make sure that never happens again. Right. But Democrat, and that should be something that's bipartisan. And it's funny because Democrats always say that the right is the ones attacking the republic and the voting process and democracy, when they are the ones that are fine with instant rule changes without any oversight, without any authority. They're fine with elections being changed like that. But they're so possessed by their ideology, and that's all due to Trump, I think, and the right's message of voter integrity post 2020, that they refuse to have anything bipartisan to do with election integrity. They have blinders on, and anything that is a voting bill is restrictive, and it's terrible, and it's anti-democracy.